Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in my vlog series that I do for the Memphis Songwriters Association. And these vlogs go with my blogs that I write for them, and you can find those blogs on their website, memphiссongwriters.org. I do want to continue talking about character development in songs, which we have looked at in the past couple of vlogs. Thus far, we've looked at developing a character through your own personal experiences. So you are the character in that song, the main character, and everything minus a few creative liberties within that song is true. So for that one, we looked at Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison. Then we also looked at developing a character where you are the main character, but it's kind of another person that you're pretending to be. You're taking on that persona of another person, and the events aren't necessarily true. So for that one, we looked at Deacon Blues by Steely Dan. Now we're going to shift gears slightly and we're going to chat about something that's a little bit more along the lines of taking on the persona of another character within your song. And we're going to talk about Hello in There by John Prine. So we're going to look at this just like always from a melodic perspective, a lyric perspective, lyrical, and a structural perspective as well, to talk about why everything works so well within this song. So the melody to this particular song follows a very simple picking pattern written in the key of C. It uses open tuning, and to me it feels like it's both hopeful and melancholy, almost resembling a ukulele. And normally you don't think of ukulele as being melancholy, but it does kind of have that feel to it. So it fits the lyrics really well. They're ultimately a little hopeful, although in hindsight, the sad part is letting life slip away from you before you can reconnect with the ones that you love or connect with new people who could just use a friend. So lyrically, now I'm going to talk a little bit about John Prine in general and how he went about songwriting. So before he was a songwriter, he worked as a mailman, and he said in interviews that really he only started writing songs because he forgot the lyrics to the covers that he'd play. And so he'd compensate by making up new words. Since he was a mailman, his interactions with people might have given him a unique ability to really create these lifelike characters. Now, because of that, these actually might be based on actual people, but they're still kind of characters that he's developing. We don't know one way or the other. Maybe it was based on somebody, maybe not. But it's just one of those things that makes it a little bit more dynamic, that it's almost like realistic fiction in that particular sense. So he does character development very, very well. Angel from Montgomery could have fit the last category where he, takes on the persona of another person. In this one, he's taking on the persona of Loretta's husband, but it's still kind of a little bit of a hybrid of both the character development of somebody you completely make up and also somebody from real life or a story or something like that, an existing story. But I think that for this particular song, I've always interpreted the last verse to be written by from his own perspective, I should say. If you're walking down the street sometime, don't just stop and stare, say hello in there. And I think that's really interesting. That actually adds another level of dynamicism to the song, almost like Bob Dylan does with "Simple Twist of Fate." They sat together in the park, and then in the last verse he says, "I still believe she was my twin, but I lost the ring." So then it's revealed that, oh yeah, it's about him at the very end. So structurally, Hello in There, very, very unique song. And even though it doesn't do anything out of the ordinary within the last verse, like I said, it always takes me by surprise. It really could have just ended with Loretta dying and him talking about why he hasn't called Rudy in a long time. followed by a reminder that old people get lonesome and you got to stop in and say hello, even if that's all you have to say. But adding that last verse gives it a little bit of a gut punch. And I think one of the, effective gut punches there is, like I said, I interpret the last verse to be, about him and not about him as Loretta's husband. But either way, since that's a little bit vague, you don't know if, John Prine or Loretta's husband, lost somebody, and so it's a very reliable narrator in that particular sense, that you were motivated by that call to action to say hello in there. Um, on a personal note, this particular song, after John Prine passed away, my mom, emailed me and said, I listened to it and it was just a little bit of an added level of sad, hearing it that day. And for me, I actually heard it on the radio the day that my grandma passed away, and I thought I was going to have to pull over because it was just a very emotional day, and I didn't want to cry myself off the road. But that speaks to the power of it. And, it's really interesting because personally, I write a lot of songs just from my perspective, not necessarily taking on the persona of another character or, even putting it in the third person. But I think it really speaks volumes to how much we care about these characters. We care about the narrator, we care about Loretta, and we care about old Rudy, and the kids and all of that. It's just a really, really powerful song in that regard. And so that's why I think it's really cool because it's a little bit of a hybrid, right? That these characters might be completely made up, they might be based on people, but you can kind of put yourself inside the song regardless, of whether you know these people or not. um, it's That's just what makes it work so darn well. Very, very compelling characters. So that is Hello in There in a nutshell. Hello in There by John Prine. And that is just one of my absolute favorite songs of many that John Prine has. So this will be linked in the description of the video if you want to check it out. And I will also link the Simple Twist of Fate, the Bob Dylan song, so that you can take a listen to that and kind of see how he shifts into the third person all of a sudden. But like I said, this is a video series that I've been doing for the Memphis Songwriters Association. Be sure to check out the blog on their website, the Memphis Songwriters Association's website, which is memphisSongwriters.org. I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much. Be sure to check me out, like I said, on YouTube if you're not already subscribed, on Spotify, iTunes, all your favorite streaming platforms, on Facebook and Instagram, all as Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.